miles. We are going to hit Route 40, and we're going to start our trip west. I suppose this is going to take an explanation. I was planning on staying in around Poplar Bluff for a little bit to have Johnny do some work, add some solar panels to the roof and a fan. But after I got done paying the bills this month and running the numbers, I decided we better wait probably another few months. I am in the process of trying to get my bills paid and get some of the debt that I have paid down. And I could have managed it, but it would have left my emergency fund pretty thin. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna head southwest, and hopefully in a few months I'll be able to do it. It means I won't have refrigeration, at least not for a little bit anyway. There is a way I can do it, but it's just gonna take some thought. So buckle up, kids. We're about ready to head west. I have traveled Route 40 before. 86, 87, somewhere in there. I think it was 86. And so it'll be interesting to see what it looks like. And just interesting to see where this adventure is going to go now that I'm out in the world. So hang on. I'll get back to you when we about hit Route 40. Well, we're 2 miles out from Route 40. And the adventure continues. So we're still in Arkansas. We get onto Route 40, it's a straight shot across some of the most barren, bleak looking landscape I saw when I was traveling all those years ago. I don't think I was very impressed with the desert when I came through before, but we'll see. It was an experience that I'd never seen anything quite like that, because I grew up in the lush forests of the East Coast, where there's lakes and there's rivers and wildlife by all over the place. And so when I hit the desert and it was just this big barren empty, it was very interesting. I will definitely say that it was definitely interesting. It was definitely not some kind of thing. It was definitely not anything I'd seen before. And I've been to California a few times since then, mostly by plane. Once with the horses, once for a college interview. Those were the other 2 times that I was in California. California is different, I think, than Arizona and New Mexico. Certainly different than Texas. Like I said before, I was not impressed with Texas, but that's just me. And once this light turns, we're about a mile away from Route 40. Adventure continues. I'm not sure what town this is. This is 64 in Arkansas. There it is. heading west on Route 40. Feel like Captain Kirk out there somewhere. Tractor trailers, just nobody cares. They don't care. Courtesy is not their thing. They did not learn courtesy in driving. So here we go. I think we'll let you go here for a little bit because you don't really want to see this part of Arkansas. And we'll get back to you when we start seeing something worth seeing. So this is our first stop along our trip, and Indy's taken a minute to roll and let out his inner puppyhood, and he's happy. He's a happy camper. He's also full of leaves. This is a rest stop in Arkansas, our first stop. It's pretty. Not bad. It's nice the way they do them. They have little sections instead of having huge sections. They do have one huge section, but they've got little sections where 4 or 5 cars can pull in. Interesting. Different than I've ever seen. Nice little stream. So we're just east of Fort Smith. And this little rest area is kind of nice, actually. Get a chance to stretch your legs a little bit. That's the stream. That kind of winds up through. It's really kind of pretty. Route 40 is busy though. There's the van and Indy. Say hi, Indy. Say hi, Indy. Yep, there you are. You're a traveling dog now. He's just loving this. remember getting through Arizona once and thinking, you know, looking at all the tires and thinking, I couldn't believe the number of tires that had blown. And until one of the little black things that looked like rubber got up and started walking across the road. Turns out it was a tarantula. That made me think about every time I got out of the truck, I would have to look down because I wasn't sure if it was a rubber tire or a big spider. Well, I can tell by the welcome center on the other side that we just passed, welcome to Arkansas, that we are getting close to Oklahoma. And I'd like to keep videoing as we pass into Oklahoma. So it should be coming up here pretty soon. I've been to Oklahoma. Like I said, I drove through this area in the 80s, all the way out to California. And Oklahoma just looked flat to me. I don't think it's changed much. I doubt that it's changed. I doubt that it's gotten suddenly mountains and a lot of lakes, but we'll see. We'll see. Oklahoma, I think, is flat. So this is exit 1 for Dora and Fort Smith. So I imagine the border's coming up here pretty soon. The state line should be coming up here pretty soon. Pretty day. It's 73 degrees. Feels good. I miss the heat. I love the heat. Anything above like 88 starts getting a little warm for me, but I love the 80s. Makes me want to be on the beach. Yep. GPS didn't say welcome to Oklahoma, but that sign sure did. I believe, what is it, the native state? Is that what they call Welcome everyone to another morning. We are about ready to roll into Texas, the panhandle of Texas on Route 40. And we are at exit 1, which is Oklahoma. So just up here, we should be in Texas. It is still flat prairie. Not quite desert, but it is still flat prairie. This is about how I imagined Oklahoma and Texas would look. If I remember rightly, they were both pretty flat. But as I've said in a previous video, I am surprised at how Oklahoma looks, how varied the landscape is. Texas, I remember very little of Texas except that it was flat, and it just didn't seem to have that much beauty to it. We're gonna find out.
Welcome to Texas.
We are in Texas. And we're going to pull over here because I've got some work I want to do. And the dog wants to go out. Indy, hang on. This is McLean, Texas. There's a museum right there. It's closed. That's what we came for, was for the museum. We're going to stop in and see the museum. But it's closed. So this is McLean, Texas. I'm afraid there's not much to see. It is part of the old Route 66, and there are some vestiges of that area left. But it looks like time has passed this little town and left it in not as good a shape as it should be. Kind of sad to see. It's really kind of sad to see. So we have a detour, junction 40.
In a quarter mile, turn right.
Sad little town. You kind of feel bad for some of these little towns that have been left behind.
Take the next right. In 1,000 feet, slide
still just west of McLean. Very large wind farm on both sides of the road. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another day on the road. We are about 15 miles outside of New Mexico. And I have to tell you, I am not entirely upset about leaving Texas. Texas is just not my thing. I understand that there's people that like the wide open prairies and the wide open spaces and the empty plains, but I gotta say, I just find it extremely boring, at least the part of Texas that I've seen. So I thought we would start our day doing some video of us entering New Mexico, and now you get to see the arroyos and the valleys, and what really makes, I think, New Mexico, one of the things that makes New Mexico so special is that it's just different. It's for those of us who grew up in the Northeast, this is an entirely different landscape, an entirely different topography. It's just very interesting. One of the reasons I wanted to start this is because we've got trucks coming up alongside us on the left, and they are carrying the paddles for windmills. And when I first saw this, I thought, how freaking cool. These are just really, really cool. And the trucks are just amazing. They're just amazing. And these are paddles for windmills. And there's a couple of them coming up. And I thought y'all might get a kick out of seeing how they transport these things. Unbelievable how big they are. There's another one coming up too. Here it comes. That is just freaking awesome. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that. I think that's it. I don't think there's another one. I don't know, looking out over this countryside, I think to myself, it's easy to see old-time cowboys in the 1800s moving cattle across them. John Wayne and the rest of them in some of those Western movies out on the prairie. There's just not a lot out here. And there they go. So we're going to sign off here for a little bit, and then when we get close to the border, we'll pick you back up. So we're about 7 miles out of the border with New Mexico, and you're starting to see more of these hills. And we've got another windmill blade coming up, in case you missed the first two. And it's coming up alongside. I just think that's amazing. They are just so totally huge. And for anybody who thinks that the windmills drive the whales crazy, they don't seem to be bothering the cattle any. They're not, like, you don't see the cattle out in the middle of the fields with windmills on their backs, wagging their little legs up in the air. So I think you can put that to rest. They travel with a lot of companion cars. They want to make sure everybody knows they're oversized loads. And then when we get close to the border, we'll pick you back up.